University. Right now, we turn our attention to a person that I've known for quite some time and have befriended and think the world of. She was an outstanding player. Came from East St. John, of course, played at the University of New Orleans. Excellent player. I would know. Watched those games, was there, part of it. And then, of course, became a fine assistant coach at her alma mater before ascending to the head coaching position, where she has endured some tough times, turbulence, lack of a little bit of everything, frankly, which lends itself to the Eddie Robinson Award, which is presented to someone who has achieved at the highest level with not the greatest of means, and that's not to demean any association whatsoever. The University of UNO is a great school with good people, but they haven't had quite the means that some of the teams they've competed with have had. And the Eddie Robinson Award was created by us on the Sugar Bowl Committee to recognize those who achieve great things, regardless of what they have at their disposal. Keeshawn Carter Davenport joining us now. Keeshawn, first of all, it's great to talk to you again, and congratulations, my friend. How are you?
Yes. Hey, Mr. Ken, it's so good to hear your voice again, a voice like no other. Thank you so much for having me on the show today.
Well, I know your history and how you're special to me and have been for a long time, and I couldn't be happier for you because, again, not to state everything that's transpired, but it's been a long road. You were an excellent player. As an assistant coach, you did a fine job. Everybody knows about the history and what happened, and the program nearly dropped down to Division III. Then there was trying to overcome that. Then there was funding, and then there was a winless season. I mean, I could go through the whole thing. So to be at a point where you've had a winner, and you win 10 games in the conference, and now you get recognized for what you accomplished, has to be pretty special.
It's very humbling. I've said it several times before. It was overwhelming when I first got the call, and it's just humbling again to even be mentioned in the same sentence as Coach Eddie Robinson. But no doubt our program has come from a mighty long way. And the best analogy that I could think of is I started literally, I didn't break it down this much, but I feel like I started with water. We picked up some lemons along the way. It wasn't lemonade with sugar. It was just lemon water. But now things are getting a little sweeter. We put a little sugar cube up in there, and definitely the program is headed in the right direction. I've always said when life gives you lemons, and again, you said it correctly, not to complain or demeanor the program. What we went through is what we went through, and it was what it was. But I'm never one to make excuses. I use whatever it is that God has given unto me and try to make it work. And I just thank God again for the staff that I have and the team that I have that really bought in and don't complain much, just put their heads down and go to work.
Amen to that. And you're making me thirsty with that description, but knowing your heart, I thought you might be going biblical on me and heading from water to wine, but that's all good. You went in a good direction there regardless. So Keeshawn Davenport from the University of New Orleans with us right now. At the lowest point, Keeshawn, when you've got a winless team, talk about the intestinal fortitude, and I'm sure how your faith probably helped you sustain yourself in those difficult times.
That was the only way I made it through. That was the only way I made it through. It wasn't one winless season. It was two winless seasons. And at the Division I level, and there were certainly moments where I questioned if I was in the right position doing what I was supposed to do at that time in my life. And as I stated earlier to someone else, my faith in God kept me going. And the times that I was trying to get out of this and see if he had me to go in another direction, he sent me little reminders to let me know I was where I was supposed to be, doing what I was supposed to do at that time. That tough times don't last. Tough people do. Every time I wanted to throw in the towel, a student athlete would text me or call me and say, Coach, I need to talk. Or, Coach, I want to commit suicide. Or, Coach, I never told this to anybody, and today I need to get it off of my chest. And they would be speaking, but in my ear I would hear, this is why you're doing what you do. Men counts W's and L's, but the way that I look at championships is bigger than that. And then I had to talk with God, but while I'm down here on this earth, Lord, I want some some W's too, because I'm competitive. I like to win. But if it had not been for my faith, if it had not been for the support of my family, if it had not been for the support of administration, I may have given up. But then again, that's what I teach my team to do: be amazingly persistent and persevere through the tough times. So if I'm going to teach them that, I have to live by that.
You've worked with a lot of good people, and heck, I work with you. I'm not bad, but you now have a boss in Tim Duncan who I think has brought a different perspective to things, has brought a fresh approach to things. He's enthusiastic. He's a basketball guy. He's gone out of his way to get to know the community, meeting with all kinds of people. I was one of them over a period of time. Talk about your relationship with Jim and what he's meant to your program.
Like you said, I have had some great administrators, and I'm really appreciative to all of them for exactly when I was going through those tough seasons. I had Derek Morrell, who believed in me and what it was and the vision that I had for the program, and he lent so much support. But Tim Duncan, the original Tim Duncan, has come along and really have just lifted up the morale of the department. And I think it's a difference when you have an athletic director who was a Division I athlete. So he gets it from so many different aspects. And he really has a heart for the student athletes and made that pretty clear and pretty evident right up front. And not just a heart for the student athletes, but he's a great leader for coaches and other administrators. And it really has been good to have his presence on campus. I've seen him in my practice probably more than I've ever seen an athletic director in practice. And he knows the game. So it's something when you have your AD in your practice and he knows the game. It's just really been a great first year under his leadership. And even as we've gone through this pandemic and during the social climate time that we're enduring right now in America, his leadership has shown. He has no doubt stepped up and led this department and is doing a mighty fine job, in my humble opinion.
Indeed. And, of course, Derek at the All-State Sugar Bowl now, and that's who sponsors this award you're getting. So that's also special. And you brought up the social issues. I know your heart because I know you. You're a follower of Christ first, and that's the most important thing in your life. And your family, your marriage, next important. And those kids that you have to coach and be a mother to be a counselor to be a coach to, a teacher to, and everything else rely on you. What do you share with them now about your own experiences that can be helpful moving forward? Because I know your heart, and I know who you are, and I know what comes first in your life, and I also know that you don't generalize, that you look at people based on who they are and their character, not what they look like or where they come from, as I do.
Yes, sir. Definitely. My team know who I am and what I believe and what I stand for as well, and always have to have things in proper perspective. We look at what's going on in our nation today, and unfortunately, it's not an issue that can be swept under the rug, especially with the millennials and the generation coming after the millennials. They have a voice, they want to be heard, but they want to hear our voice as well and where we stand. And I have met with my team, and I talk to my team, and they understand it. Those who believe and want to protest and want to say that Black Lives Matter, I support them because Black lives do matter. Our team is diverse, though. So we make sure that in our approach to making sure that our voices are heard, that we're not offending anyone else. And our team has decided that we're going to do it the God way. We're going to show love and not hate. We're going to show unity and not division while we're all moving forward to encourage change in the areas that change needs to take place.
I'm going to make sure I replay this for some people because I don't think I could have stated it any better myself. Now, it's just my humble opinion, obviously, but I could not agree with you more in everything that you said. And most importantly, I think it's so important for us to have ears to hear, to try to understand each other better. Nobody says you have to agree on everything or even a lot of things, but you darn sure better learn to understand who people are, why they feel the way they feel, and respect them. And the last part that you said is love them, because I know what governs your life and mine, and our God says to love one another and makes it very clear. And if we're true followers, and that's as we should be, and not be hypocritical and dislike people because of where they come from or what they look like. Amen?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's all we can stand by. And in this time, there are some silence because people don't know what to say. And, with my team, I told them silence is okay. And I know many people are saying this is not the time to be silent. Silence equals violence. But there's a portion of time that you need to be silent. When you're communicating, both parties are not talking at the same time. You have a speaker and you have a listener. So while people are speaking, there needs to be a listener who's not listening to have a rebuttal or to reply or to defend, but listen to understand. And then once an understanding is gained, then we can move forward towards actions. So there is a time where you need to be silent and be on the listening end so that you could gain an understanding. 2 ears, 1 mouth, twice amount of listening that we do speaking. And, of course, I just follow and know what I know. It says, be slow to speak but quick to listen. And then when you speak, make sure that our conversations are seasoned with grace. Again, change needs to happen, but it just doesn't need to be out of anger. Be angry and sin not. I just know what I know, Ken. I'm sorry. I was angry. And I'm not apologetic, but that's what I know. I was angry. I cried. I went through a rage of emotions, and, I just asked God to help me because I am a mother of an African-American male. And I just asked him, Lord, I need your direction on how to go about this. And, he just spoke to me clearly on that issue. And since I've heard from him, I've had better guidance and direction on how to lead my team.
You've spoken. I've listened. I can assure you I've listened well, and I'm going to make sure other people listen too, because these are terrific words of wisdom from a person with a lot of wisdom and a lot of love for you, Keeshawn Davenport.
Yes,
thank you for the visit. Thank you for the words. They mean a lot, and I want people to hear them and understand them. And also, congratulations, too, for a well-deserved honor. It's a pleasure to be part of that committee to help you get something that you richly deserve.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ken. I love you all, miss you all so much. And, again, I'm deeply humbled, and it's an honor. Couldn't do it without my staff and my team and all of the support that I get from everyone. And thank you for having me on the show.
Keep up the good work. God bless you and your family here.
Yes, sir.
All right, Keeshawn. Thank you.